50th anniversary cinema screening, well, 50 years, of a Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I grew up knowing as a real cult hit. I've got that Midnight Movies documentary on DVD that I used to love and watch. I do need to revisit that. And Rocky Horror is one of the 6 films that they actually delved into about being midnight, screenings that built cult following. And it was films like Eraserhead, El Topo, Pink Flamingos, and things like that. Night of the Living Dead was one of them as well, which is unusual because those films share a similar theme, but Rocky Horror Picture Show stands out. So Rocky Horror Picture Show is the musical, it's an LGBTQ plus film really, which was a 15. I grew up with it knowing it to be a bit of a naughty 15. It's actually down to a 12A now. I mean, it's not really bad or graphic, but it is a film that explores a lot of sexuality and sexual nature.
It's a very bisexual film.
Yeah, it's a simple story of a young, naive, newly engaged couple breaking down, having car trouble in the woods in a dark, stormy night, and they knock on the strange, horror-looking castle as you do, and then all the weird and wonderful adventures begin. Of I don't want to say too much if you haven't seen it. I know it's a cult film.
It's been 50 years.
Yeah, but you know, the thing is, these films, when they have reruns, new people discover it. I saw a comment where there was a group of 7 people going, and they said at least 4 people out of that screening, or 3, hadn't seen it, and they were virgins to the film. So it is a thing. But going back to it being a cult, I'm aware that this film didn't actually do very well when it first come out, and it made its reputation become a cult on that midnight screening route, where there was a lot of interactive audience participation, like Tommy Wiseau's The Room, where people are singing and chanting, and people ended up dressing up and stuff. But revisiting it, it was actually quite a clean 4K new restored print as well.
Yeah, it's very sharp.
And it looks good. I don't think it's like dated, but I was saying to you, I know that they were going for that vibe, but it really is a B-movie horror love letter. Like, it really does capture that, and it is a product of its time. Where
theatrical.
But when I say a product of its time, it's, you can't recreate it. It's got all this charm and quirkiness of, like, like, I like video nasties, and what makes them you can't, people try to replicate it, but they don't capture that. And the same can be said for Rocky Horror Picture Show. You can't, it's a very visually lush piece, and it's very charming and quirky and unique. I am really drawn into it, and the restoration helps, but even when it was gritty, that added to it as well, because it has got this B-movie horror vibe, which is very weird, because it's not a horror film, but it feels like a horror film. It's lit like a horror film. It's shot like a horror film. Yeah, it's very campy musical as well, so it's kind of a bizarre combination. It is camp, they bill it as a comedy here, but I mean,
comedy horror,
it's a musical for sure. Comedy, it's very entertaining and funny. I don't think I would sell it going it's a comedy. I think that's a wrong sell for it. I know that I was reading, because it's an interesting one. Again, it's an interesting film, interesting piece of film history. I know the film is looked at slightly problematic now, 50 years later, with its themes, but it was ahead of its time. For 1975, this film was well ahead of its time. I don't think it's really controversial. I think some strange things could be taken from it out of context. I do think there is some eyebrow-raising moments, but not for me personally, not. I do think of a modern audience, maybe what they'll take from it, not knowing the culture when it was made, and the 70s, because obviously 50 years is half a century. It's a megally old film now. I can't believe how old that film actually is now, but times have changed a lot since it was made, that's for sure. And I feel like it's a bit of a special sort of film, and you won't really... I don't think it's one that could be remade, let's put it that way. I don't think it's something... I can't imagine a remake of this one coming out.
As someone who's not a fan of traditional musicals, this is probably one of my favourite musicals.
It has very catchy songs.
Yeah, I love this as a musical, comedy, horror, whatever you want to call it. Same way I like Little Shop of Horrors.
It's got Little Shop of Horror vibes, for sure.
That kind of unconventional musical really ticks a box for me as a kind of alternative person. And I think the homoeroticism and the bisexual nature of it is just so charming in a way that you cannot replicate even today. Tim Curry in drag is, I think, both male and female gaze at the same time. It's very odd to see this very deep voiced man dressed so sensually but still exude dominance over everyone in the room. And I think it's so cleverly done, and he really does bring a spark to this film. And Brad and Janet crack me up with their over the top B-movie acting, which is deliberate. I think it's very meant to be that.
Yeah, I think
it does it spirals into almost a bit of a madness.
So the performances are great. Like the acting
way over the top, fabulous.
All the cast are great. Tim Curry is exceptional. Looking at this again tonight, I think it actually, I mean,
and Rocky as well. The guy that plays Rocky just fills that role so perfectly.
Yeah, Tim Curry is a popular actor for playing. I mean, he's played some mega characters like Pennywise, the Clown, Lord of Darkness.
Legend. Lord of Darkness in Legend.
He plays very flamboyant, heavy made-up characters, but Rocky Horror Picture Show, his facial expressions, he brings so much more. You know, the film is very eccentric and out there as it is, but Tim Curry just adds so much more element. You couldn't imagine anyone else doing it. He draws you in. He's charming. He's charismatic. He says so much with just a simple expression. His delivery of lines are so on point, and the kind of comedy with it is just him playing it so well and so to the T. I think this is one of his best performances. Master actor in this.
I did have a question for you, because I know sometimes it's something that bothers you, but I don't think it does in this film. Do you know what I'm going to ask you?
Is it about the fourth wall break?
It's breaking the fourth wall. There are many little looks and, direct to the audience, as if to say,
So the film is self-aware, but it doesn't
take itself too seriously.
It was a theatre show before film.
It was.
So they've adapted that, and I know it's gone on to have a long life and be big, but because of the original material, the source material was a theatre play, I do believe they've adapted that well, and they've kind of nodded to that, and they are addressing you, the audience, and it is consistent. There is a lot of fourth wall breaks, but it is built into the style of the film.
Even Meatloaf does it at one point.
You have a criminologist doing a narration throughout who's addressing you, so the film is built to
you the story.
Tell you that. So I think it adds to it. I think because of it being a musical, and the thing is with musicals, I'm not the biggest fan of them, but because musicals do break filmmaking techniques where, editing wise, they'll be all over the place, they'll jump here, people are talking in song, they're looking at the audience. So when a film is a musical, they can break some boundaries a little bit more than a traditional film. I feel that works for me. I turn a blind eye to some pet peeves because of it being a musical, and that's the style of film.
Do you know why I think I enjoy this musical, and same with Little Shop of Horrors as well, is because when they do start singing, it is still just the characters on the screen.
Yeah.
Some musicals, like, they suddenly turn into this giant Broadway show in the middle of a film where, after they're having a serious conversation, there's like 1,000 people involved, and then it just disappears again.
Well, this one's more grounded.
This one is very much just the people in the room are still the people in the musical.
But that gives it that B-movie, because it's got a B-movie environment. It kind of isn't. It's an independent film anyway, but it's
like cheap in a good way.
It embraces its independence, and it lends to it. And I do highly recommend it, to be honest, because I think it's got some great editing. I love the cinematography in it. The lighting is on point. The performances are great, and it's got an interesting story. It is a interesting script. It's very sexually charged. It's erotic, but not in a sleazy way, so it's quite interesting. It explores themes of sexuality and a young couple being engaged and naive, and it takes you on that journey. So
virgins, aren't they?
So it has a lot.
Done the deed yet.
It has a lot to say, and it has an interesting approach. And it's also interesting to look back on because of a 50-year-old film and of the era it was made. That's also interesting as a historical film piece. I think it is a bit of a timeless classic, really. It is kind of it's a slight capsule, but it captures so much. It captures a style and homage to film that I love, which is why I think I do resonate with it, because I grew up on films of what this is like a love letter to. So, and I enjoyed it tonight. In fact, it was actually more quiet than I thought. I grew up with this being a big cult hit, but the cinema screenings around here,
I thought it would be busy.
It is quite, it's sad to see it quite quiet. A lot of more modern reruns have been really busy, and there's been some busy screenings, but a film like this, it just seems to, and the audience, there wasn't really a young audience tonight, it was older
Mostly
people
older
seeing it,
people
so it's,
and our age.
I'm worried and feel like this film might start being forgotten and going into the void, really, seeing that.
Lost to the youngsters.
But if you haven't seen it, check it out, and if you've not seen it for a while,
Rewatch it.
I know there's
100%.
a 4K coming out, and this restoration, you know, it's pretty good. The 4K hasn't taken anything away. It still looks this great B-movie homage, but it's obviously nice, cleaned up, and it brings out those colours and that flamboyantness even more. So, yeah, great 4K. A big thumbs up from me. Great Scott. Which was great to hear in that.
Great Scott.
Before Back to the Future. Great Scott.